We ready?
Yes.
All right. Good evening and welcome to Fate City Hall for our special City Council meeting. It is now 5:31, so we'll go ahead and get started. Madam Secretary, do we have a quorum
Yes,
present?
Mayor, we do.
All right, perfect. What's our next item on the agenda, please?
Item number 2 is public comment. I have one request to address the council from Zachary Timko, address 1116 Decker Drive.
Welcome.
How you doing, Mr. Mayor? Council, I just wanted to take a quick moment out of my day to come up here. First and foremost, to congratulate, I know there's some new folks coming in to the council, and to congratulate them on their election, as well as say thank you to a couple of gentlemen I've worked with on the council here that will not be on the council anymore. So I want to say thank them for being just a great couple of guys to work with. That being said, just as a normal guy now who cares about his city, through a couple of boards that I've served on, I've been able to work with a few iterations of the council. I'm not privy to a lot of the information that goes on. Wasn't aware of some of the things that were going on as well, because I don't use Facebook, things like that. My wife let me know what was going on. I kind of read about what I could about it. I just hope that with the new council members coming in, whatever's happening, it was just a bit disheartening to hear, because it's always been such a great group of folks that I really enjoyed spending, an hour or two with every month to discuss the future of the city. And I just hope that going forward, things can kind of get back to that point. And I thank you all, both outgoing, current, and incoming members, for your service to the city. Thank you so much, folks.
Thank you.
And there are no other requests to address the council.
What's our next order of business, please?
Next will be agenda item 3, which is May 2nd, 2026 election-related items. Item number A is discuss, consider, and take any necessary action regarding ordinance number 2026-037, canvassing the returns and declaring the results of the special election held on May 2nd, 2026, for the purpose of determining whether Cody Chin, Councilmember Place 1, shall be removed from office by recall, declaring a vacancy in the office of Councilmember Place 1, and providing for related matters.
Okay, do I have a motion on this item?
I make a motion that we pass ordinance 2026-037.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion passes 6-0. Thank you. Next agenda item, please.
Next is agenda item 3B, which is discuss, consider, and take any necessary action regarding ordinance number 2026-038, canvassing the returns and declaring the results of the general election held on May 2nd for the purpose of electing city council members places 2 and 3, each for 3-year terms, and providing for related matters.
All right, thank you. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion we pass ordinance number 0-2026-038.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion passes 6-0. Thank you. All right, this next one's going to be fun. What's our next agenda item, please?
Okay. Next, I will administer the statement of elected official and official oaths of office to the candidates declared elected. First will be Ashley Raines, Councilmember Place 2, followed by Alan Robbins, Councilmember Place 3. so first will be the statement of officer, which is also known as the anti-bribery statement. If you will raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Ashley Rains,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I have not directly
that I have not directly
or indirectly paid,
or indirectly paid,
promised to pay,
promised to pay,
contributed,
contributed,
or promised to contribute
or promised to contribute
any money or thing of value,
any money or thing of value,
or promised any public office
or promised any public office
or employment
or employment
for the giving or withholding
for the giving or withholding
of a vote
of a vote
at the election
at the election
at which I was elected,
at which I was elected,
or as a reward
or as a reward
to secure my appointment
to secure my appointment
or confirmation,
or confirmation,
whichever the case may be,
whichever the case may be.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Okay. We will move to the actual oath of office. Here we go. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Ashley Rains,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of council member,
of the office of council member,
place 2,
Place 2,
of the city of Fayette, Texas,
of the city of Fayette, Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Sign right here, and then I will do the rest. Yes, well, you'll have a seat in the audience, and then when we're done, we'll let you take pictures with your family.
Okay.
Okay, and then you'll take your seat.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Alan Robbins? Okay, we'll start with the statement of officer, anti-bribery. Please repeat after me. I, Alan Robbins,
I, Alan Robbins,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I have not directly
that I have not directly
or indirectly paid,
or indirectly paid,
promised to pay,
promised to pay,
contributed,
contributed,
or promised to contribute
or promised to contribute
any money or thing of value,
any money or thing of value,
or promised any public office
or promised any public office
or employment
or employment
for the giving or withholding
for the giving or withholding
of a vote at the election
for a vote at the election
at which I was elected,
at which I was elected,
or as a reward
or as a reward
to secure my appointment
to secure my appointment
or confirmation,
or confirmation,
whichever the case may be.
whichever the case may be.
So help me God.
So help me God.
And the official oath of office. I state your name.
I, Alan Robbins,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of council member,
of the office of council member,
place 3,
Place 3,
of the city of Fayette, Texas,
the city of Fayette, Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And then if you'll have a seat in the audience in just a minute, I'll open up the photos,
All right.
and then you'll take your seat.
Okay, congratulations to our 2 new council members. Ms. Vicky, next item on the agenda, please.
Next will be item 4, adjournment.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this one? All right, seeing none, please vote. Motion passes 4-0. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Okay, and council, we're going to allow you guys to step away from the dais for a minute so we can let the newly elected officials take some family photos. And then after they're finished with their photos, you can take your seat back.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, good evening, and welcome to our 6 o'clock City Council meeting. Welcome to Fate City Hall with 2 new council members. Super exciting. Madam Secretary, do we have a quorum present?
Yes, Mayor, we do.
All right, what's our next item on the agenda then, please?
Next will be our invocation given by James Gilbert with Fame Mission Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the American and Texas flags.
Okay.
Let us bow in prayer. Heavenly Father, we come to you again, thanking you for the opportunity to build a small kingdom here in this place we call the City of Fate, a piece of the Lego block system that you have for the universe. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of that. And Lord, coming off of a wonderful week of National Day of Prayer, I thank you so much for our mayor, among mayors, giving some eloquent and sincere words of prayer at the Rockwall County Courthouse. We thank you for that. And Lord God, we also thank you for our mothers from yesterday celebrating, of which most of us wouldn't be in this room. Well, none of us would be in this room, Father, without them. So, Lord, as we think about how much we need our mothers and needed them and how much we need you, we ask that today you would allow us to understand that as we build this particular kingdom, this place, as we build something that fits into your great cosmos, help us, Lord God, to come forth courageously today with things that may need to be halted or changed, in the spirit of doing the right thing, not just doing it for show. And Lord God, we just pray that you bless every city council member that's here, our city manager, oh Lord God, and his department, and all those that are here to give you, oh God, their due, your due. In Jesus' name we pray, and everybody said, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, Miss Vicki, what's our next agenda item, please?
Agenda item 3A, which is presentation of proclamation to Mark Harper in honor of service to the City of Fate.
Okay, whereas we are here today to express our sincere appreciation to Mark Harper and honor him for his dedicated service to the residents of the City of Fate, and whereas Mark Harper faithfully served on the Fate City Council, demonstrating thoughtful leadership and a strong commitment to the responsible governance of the community, and whereas during his tenure, Mark Harper also served as Deputy Mayor Pro Tem, taking on additional city leadership responsibilities and contributing to the effective governance of the city, and whereas the City Council wishes to acknowledge with gratitude Mark Harper's time, effort, and commitment to strengthening the community and enhancing the quality of life for its residents. Now, therefore, I, Andrew Greenberg, Mayor of the City of Fate, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim the 13th day of May, 2026 as Mark Harper Day in the City of Fate, and encourage all citizens to thank Mark for his dedicated service to our community and wish him the very best in his future endeavors. Thank you.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. All right. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Vicki, next agenda item.
Next is agenda item 3B, which is presentation of proclamation to Scott Kelly in honor of service to the City of Fate.
Okay, whereas we gather today to recognize and commend Scott Kelly for his dedicated service and lasting contributions to the residents of the City of Fate, and whereas Scott Kelly faithfully served on the Fate City Council, demonstrating thoughtful leadership and a strong commitment to the responsible governance of the community, and whereas during his tenure, Scott Kelly served as Mayor Pro Tem, providing steady guidance and support in advancing the City Council's mission and priorities, and whereas prior to his term on the City Council, Scott Kelly served on the Planning and Zoning Commission, where he played an important role in shaping the growth and development of the City of Fate. And whereas the City Council wishes to acknowledge with gratitude Scott Kelly's time, effort, and commitment to strengthening the community and enhancing the quality of life for its residents. Now, therefore, I, Andrew Greenberg, Mayor of the City of Fate, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim the 12th day of May 2026 as Scott Kelly Day in the City of Fate. Absolutely. And encourage all citizens to thank Scott for his dedicated service to our community and wish him the very best in his future endeavors. Well done, Mr. Kelly.
Are you wearing your tennis shoes? All right, 1, 2, 3. Got it.
Okay, Ms. Vicki, next agenda item, please.
Next is agenda item number 4, which is public comment. I've received one request to address the council from Autumn Lebinsky, address 114 Vallon Drive.
Do you know about this? You just signed right here. Shows you were here. Okay. Welcome, Ms. Lebinsky.
Hi, Autumn Lebinsky, 114 Vallon Drive. I'm laughing because I'm staring. This is a very simple comment. Could have done this at the last one, but wanted to do it here. First of all, thank you to Harper and Kelly for their service to the city. Also, thank you for Ashley Raines and Alan Robbins for stepping up and running and, just trying to progress Fate along. Congratulations to all of you to hopefully have a harmonious city council from there. But I really wanted to give a separate acknowledgement to people who aren't really getting that acknowledgement lately. I think everybody can attest that there are certain people on city staff that have been put through the ringer this year in defining policies that were never defined before. Last meeting, I talked about uncharted territory, and I think you guys have touched every single part of the charter that could possibly be touched, and we know how much I love the charter. So I want to give out a special thank you to Michael Kovacs, to Vicki, and I'm not going to butcher your last name because I can't do it, and to Jennifer for navigating these processes that never did we think in the matter of time of 6 months you would have to navigate all these processes and kind of go on the fly on making this happen. So also to Sam, to Stephen, everybody else that contributed to this, thank you so much for all the time and effort you guys have put in. I think you guys get unappreciated a lot of times being city staff, and I just wanted to make sure you guys know that we recognize that you have been through a lot this year as well. So thank you.
Well said, Ms. Lebinsky.
And there are no others that have signed up to speak.
Okay, what's our next agenda item, please?
Next is agenda item 5, consent agenda.
Okay, do I have a motion on the consent agenda?
Could we pull this off consent and discuss it for a second?
Sure.
I was just, of course, it wasn't in the last executive session, but what was the reasoning for delaying it until the first?
Jennifer, do you want to, Jennifer's live with us right now, right? Jennifer, do you want to explain why this moved from May 18th to the June 1st meeting? given what Mr. Fisher had said to us?
Sure. So thank you so much for having me and allowing me to appear remote. So we spoke about the need to move this to June 1st because Mr. Fisher was going to be out of the state on May 18th. Unfortunately, Mr. Robbins, you may remember that the later in the evening it gets, the less good I get. And so at 11 o'clock at night, I failed to remind the city council to include that in their motion. So I apologize for that. But I think that was always the intent, to move it to June 1st. I just failed to remind anybody to do that.
All right, thank you.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Make a motion we approve consent agenda item 5A.
Okay, do I have a second?
I second the motion.
All right, any other discussion? All right, seeing none, please vote. Okay, motion passes 6-0. Thank you. Next agenda item, please.
Next is Agenda Item 6A, which is discuss, consider, and take any necessary action regarding Resolution Number R 2026-040, electing a mayor pro tem for the City of Fate for a period of 1 year. And just like any other time, you would accept nominations and then vote on those nominations in alphabetical order and then ultimately approve the resolution.
Okay, thank you. So, Ms. Raines, normally I start at this end and work our way down, but I won't do that to you on our first meeting. So we'll throw Ms. Huffman the first opportunity. Ms. Huffman, we'll open it up for nominations.
I nominate Rick Manable.
Mr. Hatley.
I'll second it.
Mr. Manival? Mr. Robbins? Ms. Raines?
I'd like to nominate Alan Robbins.
All right, and I have no nominations there. Did you?
I was just going to ask a question once we get into this discussion part of it about what happens in November with if the unfortunate thing if mayor pro tem or both don't succeed in their recall, what happens?
Well, I think there are a lot of questions that would be asked.
I mean, there's a lot of questions, yeah. I mean, but yeah.
Depending on how it plays out, there wouldn't even be a quorum of the council. Ms. Huffman?
So are there going to be many decisions and nominations and, well, I say we look at the next, what we perceive to be the viable future. I don't think you should discount anybody who wouldn't, I mean, I could get hit by a bus tomorrow, and that would also take me out of the running. So, I mean, when we're discussing people being nominated, I think we should consider everybody on the council.
I would tend to agree. I just was worried if we lose 4 members, then there's no mayor pro tem.
I think if you lose 4 members, it wouldn't matter what somebody's title was. There wouldn't be a quorum present.
There's a lot of questions there, absolutely. So I'm just pointing that out.
Okay, any other nominations? Okay, I think, Vicki, we're ready.
Okay, and so remember, you only vote once. And the order they would be in, we would vote for Rick Manival first and then Alan Robbins second. And this would be a hand vote, okay? So all those in favor of Rick Manival, raise your right hand. 4. Okay, and then those in favor of Robbins, right hand. 2. So Mr. Manival secured the nomination, and then I would just need a motion to approve the resolution electing Rick Manival as mayor pro tem.
I make a motion that we approve the resolution of naming Rick Manival as mayor pro tem.
I'll second.
Okay, there's been a motion made and has been seconded. Any further discussion? All right, seeing none, please vote. Motion passes 4-2 with Mr. Robbins and Ms. Raines voting in the negative. Okay, next agenda item, please.
Next is agenda item 6B, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action regarding resolution number R 2026-041, electing a deputy mayor pro tem for the city of Fate for a period of 1 year.
Okay, we'll open nominations. Ms. Huffman?
I nominate Alan Robbins.
Mr. Hatley?
I nominate Martha Huffman.
Mr. Manival?
No. No nomination. I nominate no.
Mr. Robbins?
No other nominations.
Ms. Raines? No additional nominations. Okay, Ms. Vicky?
Okay, so first would be, you would vote for Martha Huffman, and then the second would be Alan Robbins. So all those in favor of Martha Huffman, raise your right hand. 3. Okay, and then all those in favor of Alan Robbins? 3. So we do not have a majority. Would you like to discuss?
Go back to my original point. I mean, what happens in November, so. It's not a threat or a, it's just a general question.
Sure.
Because I honestly do not know.
Absolutely.
Jennifer, if you are still on, hang on. If that's a legal question, we can ask.
Are y'all asking a legal question?
Well, is there an answer to Mr. Robbins' question? Because I do not know the answer.
So if after November, the council was left with a quorum, you would be electing mayor pro tem and deputy mayor pro tem anyway.
And so if the question is if there's not a quorum present, then it's kind of irrelevant as to who serves as mayor pro tem and deputy mayor pro tem?
So I really don't want to go into, based on the posting on this agenda, what happens if we don't have a quorum. I think staff's talking about having that as a future agenda item to talk to the council about. But regardless, those positions get reelected if the people that are in those positions are no longer in those positions, assuming you have a quorum.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Jennifer. Okay. Any other discussion on this item? Mr. Manival.
Since we voted once and we know what the outcome of the first vote was, is it possible to have a second round of voting on the same two nominees?
Yeah, we could vote again.
Keep going as long as you want.
Okay. If that's the consensus, we can take a second round of votes.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Okay. Since I've been on the council, I found Martha to be humble, and I respect that about her. She's very thoughtful about all of her decisions, and I guess there's only one person whose vote I'm trying to change. So appealing to the humble.
Okay, anybody else? All right, Ms. Vicky.
All right. All those in favor of Martha Huffman, raise your right hand, please. 4. Okay. And then for Alan Robbins, raise your right hand. 2. Okay. Martha secured the nomination.
Okay, so do I have a motion on this agenda item?
I'll make a motion that we vote to make Martha Huffman deputy mayor pro tem.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion passes 4-2 with Mr. Robbins and Ms. Raines voting in the negative. All right, next agenda item, please.
Next is agenda item 6C, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action regarding resolution number R 2026-042, appointing a city council representative to the County of Rockwall Emergency Services Corporation, also known as the ESC.
Okay. Ms. Huffman, we had talked about you wanting to do this. Would you like an opportunity to serve on this ESC?
This was the one I was going to be behind because I do like this.
Okay. So you're still open to it. That's before I nominate you.
Yes.
Or I guess.
I'm open to
I
it.
guess we're going to start from your end, so somebody else might nominate you first, but I guess we'll open up the nominations with Ms. Huffman.
I nominate Alan Robbins.
Mr. Hatley?
I'll nominate Martha Huffman.
Did you just hear me say I was going to nominate her? Mark, and you took it from me. Mr. Manival?
I have no nomination.
Mr. Robbins?
No nominations.
Ms. Raines? Okay, no nominations here either.
All right, so we will vote first for Martha Huffman. Those in favor of Martha Huffman, raise your right hand. Okay. And then Alan Robbins. Okay. So Martha secured the nomination, then we just need to approve the resolution.
Okay, do I have a motion on the resolution?
I make a motion that we pass, or that we nominate Martha Huffman to the County of Rockwall Emergency Services Corporation to be our representative there.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion passes 6-0. Thank you. All right, Ms. Vicky, next agenda item, please.
Next is discuss, consider, and take any necessary action regarding resolution establishing a comprehensive plan advisory committee, also known as CPAC, and providing for its composition. And so these are the representative members from different boards. We'll start with the City Council, followed by Planning and Zoning, the MDD, and then Parks and Recreation.
Okay, Mr. Robbins, go ahead.
Nominations.
Oh, well, so I was going to ask this of council in general first, if it's something the council wants to consider. Because I know there are some new people on council, and even, I don't know, with the current council, if everybody has had an opportunity to meet everybody else, if there's an opportunity to do any kind of I would say a meet and greet or just a discussion with those that would like to be considered from this. Obviously, we would need to push this to a further meeting, but is there merit in that? Would any of you guys like that opportunity to meet with more people, or do we want to push through today? Just before we start making that decision, wanted to see if you guys were interested in that.
I'm good to do it today, so,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, I know the people that are on the boards and council, so.
Okay.
Ashley?
Yeah, I'd agree. I've had a few months of kind of familiarizing myself a little bit with some of the moving pieces, so I think it's best to just
Okay.
get it done.
All right, we'll do it. Okay, so we'll start with City Council member nominations. Mr. Robbins.
Nominate Ashley Raines and Andrew Greenberg.
Just want to clarify, we have two positions here? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, any more nominations? Mr. Hatley.
I'll nominate Rick Manival.
Okay, Ms. Huffman?
Alan Robbins.
Okay, any more nominations? Oh, Mr. Manival?
Martha Huffman.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're making this really easy for everybody. All right, any more nominations? Mr. Hatley, okay, I'm just making sure. Okay, we'll close nominations. Ms. Vicky?
Let me turn my mic on, sorry. Okay, so remember, there's two positions, so you get to vote twice, only twice. And we're going to vote in the order of, first will be Greenberg, followed by Huffman, Manival, Raines, and Robbins. Okay, so all those in favor of Andrew Greenberg, raise your right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. 6, excuse me. I can't count. Okay. Moving on to Martha Huffman. All in favor, raise your right hand. 2. Okay. Next is all in favor of Rick Manival, raise your right hand. 1. All those in favor of Ashley Raines, raise your right hand. 2. And all those in favor of Alan Robbins, raise your right hand. 1. Okay, so we could eliminate Rick Manival and Alan Robbins since they each just received 1 vote. We would re-vote on Martha Huffman and Ashley Raines. Is everybody okay with that? Okay. So all those in favor of Martha Huffman, raise your right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and Ashley Raines, raise your right hand. 2. So Martha and Andrew were appointed, or were nominated.
And then this will be, we'll put all of these together for a final.
Yes, that is correct. Okay, so now we will move to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Okay, do I have any nominations?
Nominate Paul Alvarado and Carrie Y. Moakley.
Okay, Ms. Huffman?
I nominate Brett Bushnell.
Question real quick. I understood that Brett was moving to Rockwall. Is that a known? Do we know? I mean, he told me that at one of the meetings.
Oh, hi.
Until we've received a resignation, he's still a member.
Okay.
Yep.
I just put that out there that he mentioned it to me. I mean, I think he's great. Would be great for this. I just don't know what his timetable was on that.
Mr. Hatley?
Nominate Terry Horton.
Any other nominations? So we have 4 right now, Ms. Vicky?
That is correct.
Okay.
We have Paul Alvarado, Carrie Womokley, Brett Bushnell, and Terry Horton that have been nominated.
Okay. Any others? Is your mic on because you're going to say? Okay. Okay.
Okay.
This is for planning and zoning.
1 spot. Or
2.
2 spots, okay.
Okay. 2 votes. First vote will be for Paul Alvarado. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 3. All those in favor of Brett Bushnell, raise your right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. All those in favor of Terry Horton, raise your right hand. 3. All those in favor of Carrie Womokley, raise your right hand. 2. Okay, so Brett Bushnell secured. And then, let's see, we would drop Carrie Womokley and we would vote again for, Paul Alvarado and Terry Horton.
I'd ask that we reconsider Carrie Y. Moakley as he's the chairman of the P&Z for the next round,
Okay, we can leave Carrie Womokley in there,
unless there's an objection.
unless,
The chair. I mean,
No,
it's up to you.
You can. I'm okay with asking
with the
him again.
revote?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so first, Paul Alvarado. Remember, you only get 1 vote this time. Paul Alvarado, raise your right hand. 1. Terry Horton. 3. Carrie Womokley. 2. Okay, we still do not have a majority. So we'll drop Paul Alvarado. Okay, all those in favor of Terry Horton, raise your right hand. 4. All those in favor of Carrie Womokley, raise your right hand. 2. So Terry Horton secured the nomination.
Okay, thank you. All right, for the Municipal Development District, nominations?
Todd Crabtree and Cynthia Ferris.
I'd like to nominate Bob Chambers.
Okay, any other nominations? Todd Crabtree, Cynthia Ferris, and Bob Chambers. Any nominations on this end? Okay, we'll close the nomination pool.
Okay, there's 2 positions, 2 votes. First will be Bob Chambers. Everybody that wants to vote in favor of Bob Chambers, raise your right hand. 4. Those in favor of Todd Crabtree, raise your right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All those in favor of, who was the other one? Cynthia Harris, excuse me. Raise your right hand. 3. Okay, so Bob Chambers and Todd Crabtree secured the nominations.
Okay, thank you. Now for Parks and Recreation. This will be just one member on here, so do I have nominations open?
Ryan Strobel.
Patty Stern.
Any other nominations? Okay, we'll close the nominations then. Ms. Vicky?
Okay. 1 position, 1 vote. So all those in favor of Patty Stern, please raise your right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. And all those in favor of Ryan Strobel, raise your right hand. 2. So Patty Stern secured the nomination.
Okay, so Ms. Vicky, does this put in every vacant place, so when this resolution is read, everybody who secured these nominations, we will have a full committee without any vacancies on there?
That is correct.
Okay. Okay, so do I have a motion?
I make a motion we pass and vote, let's see if I get them all. Andrew Greenberg, Martha Huffman, Terry Horton, I'm trying to read my own handwriting. Bob Chambers, Todd Crabtree, Brett Bushnell, and Patty Stern.
To the Comprehensive Plan Advisory Committee?
Yep.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, please vote. Motion passes 6-0. Thank you. All right, Ms. Vicky, next agenda item, please.
Next is agenda item number 7, budget workshop.
And Mayor, if I may, I'm going to drop off for the remainder of this meeting, if that's all right with the council.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
All right, we have a PowerPoint to help guide our discussions this evening, and we are here already in May, ready to work on a budget that will take place in October. And we're going to talk a little bit about, at the end, we'll talk a little bit about the timeline and the next meetings. All right, and we're going to do a team presentation. Now, usually you hear from me, but actually we're going to have several participants tonight. And so, yes, here we are, our first budget workshop. And for you, all of you who are brand new or returning, this is going to be a fairly easy one to start. Let me make sure this is actually turned on. It is. My battery may be dead. If I click the mouse, will it advance the slides? All right, we'll do it that way. All right, so let's recap the strategic priorities. Y'all worked on a comprehensive, not a comprehensive plan, we're just appointing people for the comprehensive plan. This is where you worked on a strategic plan. And let's take a look at what your priorities were for fiscal year 27. Public safety is always a big one. If people have to feel safe in the city, of course. That's the building block of civilization. And then fiscal resiliency and accountability. We've only got so much in our pocket to use, and we want to use it very wisely. A sense of community, something that we started on a long time ago to distinguish ourselves from our neighbors and to really make ourselves more than just a neighborhood, but make ourselves a city. And sustainable infrastructure and service excellence. We want to be able to continue doing what we're doing, to be able to keep fixing the things that we depend on, and to do a good job serving our public. And then economic growth, which has really been the fun one the last few years, especially as we've seen our commercial areas really blossom as far as downtown and the highway, and more to come. All right, and I talked about this. I usually talk about this once a year, but I think it always helps to know that there's several constituencies. There's kind of the people of today. So there's the folks that we're all here, we're all living and breathing, making comments, we're online, and we're in the audience, and we're taking part. This is our town, this is kind of our moment, and we're here. But then there's also the people of tomorrow. So there's our kids and our grandkids and our future generations, however long those may go. And there's people that are coming. So there's new folks coming. We've got, as we start working on the comprehensive plan, we'll be planning for many, many more people that are here today. Perhaps as much as twice as many. Probably not that many, but it could be. So we've got the people in the generations of tomorrow. So we're always thinking about what's going on with our current public, what's happening, and as we're preparing all the different things you see with water contracts and so forth, we're always preparing for the future. And then, of course, this physical place. So this little, I think as our pastor talked about, this is our little piece of the universe, right? This is just a little box of fate, several square miles. But this is our physical place. So people came here a long time ago in the 1800s, and they actually settled up farther near 552. Long story, it's in our history, you could read about that, but they came back, settled next here near the rail line, and this is our piece of nature, and this is our piece of history. So this is this place that we've inherited that we've got to take care of. So as we think about the budget, we think about how we're approaching our strategies and how we're putting our policies together. We always try to think about these three things. These three types of people, and of course the place. All right, Denise. Denise is going to take over for a few slides. She's our new finance director, if you haven't had a chance to meet her.
Hello, I'm Denise Armstrong, Director of Finance for the city. This is about my 4th week, so hello to council members that I've met, and congratulations to those that I have not. I'm going to talk a little bit about some things that we're doing to pay attention to the upcoming budget cycle. Today, the numbers that we're going to present to you are mostly a recap of where we're going to end up around fiscal year 26 and things that we're paying attention to start formulating our plan for fiscal year 27. So fiscal year 27 is looking to be a pretty stagnant year. Even so, we're trying to focus on moving forward the city's initiatives and making sure that we continue to meet the needs of our residents. A nice example of some of the things that are going to affect our bottom line are things that we use every day. One of them is the retail cost of gas. From October of 25 to April of 26, you can see that the prices have increased about 43%. And if we apply that to our usage, we're looking at an extra $154,000 a year just in gas at an estimated use of all of our vehicles. So that's just one example of some of the things that we need to pay attention to make sure that we can keep going at the pace that the council directs us to move. Some other things that we're paying attention to, water and sewer rates, those are always important. Our citizens need water. We have a rate study underway with NextGen. They'll be in a couple of months to present to you their findings and their guidance in the best way that we can charge a fair price for the water and sewer service. You all just agreed to the contract with the NTMWD at the last council meeting, so we'll be factoring in those rates in our budget formulation. Wanted to make everyone aware that Waste Collection has given us their CPI for the upcoming year. It's going to be about 5.1%. Road maintenance, we have a study going on. They're going to give us some guidance on the best practices for planning for those costs. General CPI for the upcoming year is hovering about 3.3%. I've looked at various economic forecast models, and they seem to agree that that's a good number to plan for. Another important piece is human capital. So we all have to have people behind the scenes and in front of the scenes to make the city work. We have found that projected COLAs for fiscal year 27 are going between 2.8 and 4%. Merit increases Private and public sector are hovering around 1%. And there are some new position requests that we're considering for the upcoming fiscal year as well, due to growth and in finding some things that need more attention. And of course, we're going to always continue to review the police and fire compensation and numbers to align with industry standards. I'm going the wrong way. Okay, there we go. We do have some new tax base for fiscal year '27. We received the most recent projections from the ARCAD on Saturday, so we were able to include that information here. So if we compare our certified values to our 2026 projected values, we are showing a slight increase. But that increase is actually, if you looked at it globally, sort of a decrease. We have an increase in lots. The market values are down. So if you look at our global increase in total taxable estimates, we only are about $500,000 over last year. And that's with additional lots in place. The city has some commercial property taxes that they're expecting. Economic development is working on many different things, and we'll hear more about that as they become solidified. We do have some sales tax increases. We're projecting about 8.4%. I have a little grid down here so you can see the approximate impact that it will have on our general fund versus our MDD. So that is a good thing. The more economic development we get, the more sales tax we get. And this is a comparison of our property tax assessments from last year to this year, the certified versus preliminary totals. So you can see our approximate levy for last year is about $9.262 million. Our approximate levy for this year is projected to be about $10.654 million, with a net value of about $262,000 to the city, which is not a lot of money. We can spend that like this. And then I'm going to turn property tax and range of options over to my colleague, Stephen.
There we go. Thanks, Denise. So just for, again, new council members, but all of us, this is just the range of options available to you as you look into the budget for this coming year. There's everything from the no new revenue to the de minimis rate. There may be some conversations about de minimis rate that's available to the cities that are under 30,000 people. That allows up to $500,000 of new revenue. That they go off of census, so we'll technically be available to us up until the next census if we come over 30,000 at that point. So that's the high and the low, and then there's anywhere in between. And of course, y'all will remember last year we went with the voter approved rate, which essentially is an inflationary adjustment, but there's anywhere in between all of that is available to the council. So as we look at kind of what the needs are, the inflation pressures that we obviously are facing as well, things like gas and others, as you look at property taxes, those are the range of options available to you. Any questions about that and about those options? So no new revenue is obviously the same plus growth. You still get your growth of the new homes and other buildings that have come on. And then again, the voter approved rate, inflationary, de minimis, available to cities under 30,000, which allows us to have $500,000 of new revenue, up to, and then again, anywhere in between.
Andrew.
Oh, Mr. Mandeville?
Last year, sometime during the budget process, we got an estimate of what the surplus was expected to be. And I just wondered, do you know when we might have an estimate of that? Or if there's even going to be a surplus?
Yes, we will absolutely present that to you at our next budget workshop. Today, we wanted to give a high-level overview as the information coming in from some of the outside agencies is sporadic and changing, and didn't want to give you a false estimate or a false hope of a surplus if there's not really one.
Right, and this is kind of early. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's a moving moving target there.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Popcorn Omar.
Yes. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Popcorn. So you might have noticed the theme of road maintenance discussions just occurring through some of the presentations in which you see me being a part of. So as Denise noted earlier in the presentation, we are currently undergoing a road study with our consultant RAS, Roadway Assessment Services, and what they're helping us achieve is a PCI evaluation on our road network. PCI being Pavement Condition Index, which will give us kind of like I always say like a gamified score, right? You want to be 85 and above, that's a B plus. But again, this may look a little bit familiar, but just continuing to work toward that 2 million number to build a robust road maintenance program. Just to give a little bit of history about it, this program has grown over the last decade. From 2014, it was $114K that the city of Fayette was investing into maintaining its road system. But as of last year, with the approval of council, it's grown to 1.8 million. So, yeah, that's all I have to add to this.
All right, let's go to the next slide. Okay, I'll take this one. So we've got some big CIP projects. South Bend Payne, we're working with the county to prepare that project. That could be somewhere in the $18 to $20 million range for a new road. And of course, that gets us that section between Highway 66 and the frontage roads. So that would take that rural 2-lane section with the bar ditches and then take that into a 4-lane cross-section with modern drainage, curb and gutter, underground electrical and telecom lines, et cetera, et cetera. So a full-on new 4-lane road for that section. And of course, we'll have an interchange arriving a little bit earlier. So the Southside Fire Station, that is something that we're eagerly anticipating. And along with that, I'll just kind of skip down the police headquarters. Those are 2 major construction projects. We've also got some work continuing on the downtown fire station, kind of little by little here and there. And then, of course, Fayette Station Park, that bond issuance process for a sales tax bond is in progress, and that'll continue. I'll see those pieces coming together. That's going to be a significant little project, right around the 6 million range, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. We'll see. The bond is targeted for 6 million. Of course, we've got park development fees, and we've got other monies that we can put toward that as well. Trail projects, we're looking at how can we get some trail projects. I know we've talked to the Parks Board recently and starting to get them excited about, and we've talked about it for years. We've always prioritized park improvements per se, just because we've been so kind of underparked, and we've looked at developing parks, Joe Berger Park, et cetera. But planning put together a study on how to actually execute the trail plan and how they would do that. So now we're looking at, okay, could we fund some of those connections, and how would we do that? Could we use park fees? Could the county help us potentially with some matching funds, and how do we do that? So we're looking at could we make a trail project work, and how would we fund it?
Michael, if I could too, I know our emphasis, sorry, over here, to right, yep. Our emphasis on the trails has been from our public, safe connections to our schools and connections into downtown. So those are kind of the 2 main areas that we're trying to target in when we say trail project.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then, of course, as we mentioned before, Scott and his crews have been doing a great job with street and alley asphalt repair and of course, concrete work. So there's a lot of work to be done on our streets. Our street grid system is growing. Fortunately, it's still pretty new, but it's starting to get older, especially in some of the first phases like Spring Meadow. And then, of course, you look at some of the large lot subdivisions. Those those are starting to get older too, riding club, et cetera. And so we're going to start to see that. We don't have any reconstructions on the horizon, which is really good for a few years, but continue maintenance to keep those streets going as long as possible. So we're working our way toward those numbers. And this time we're going to have a pretty good detailed number, as Omar mentioned, of how much it's going to cost. What would it cost to maintain a certain pavement condition index, and how do we hold the line on the pavement condition index, and then how do we make progress? And that's going to be through a lot of it through maintenance for the next 5 to 7, 8 years. All right, Denise, you're back.
Today, we want to take you on a brief walk of where our money comes from and show you where we have approved through 2026. Okay, so you can see there's a few different ways that we do get revenue into the city. Charges for service being the biggest one. Transfers in, that's money between funds. It's not really new money coming in, and you'll see a transfers out when we talk about expenses that'll be the same. So it's kind of an in and out wash between funds. We have to record it that way for accounting standards purposes. And then property taxes. Property taxes is about half of what we get for charges for service. So everyone thinks that cities are funded based on property tax only. That's not the case here. Impact fees, so those are the fees that come in when new properties are developed. Sales tax, we have a very healthy sales tax base, and we'll look a little bit later into how that's going to continue to expand. Intergovernmental transfers and license and permits are other biggest categories. And then you see in other income, franchise fees and fines and forfeitures, which are a lot smaller than the rest. We did get about $35,000 in forfeiture this year, which I thought was really great. So we just recently got that payment in. So good job to law enforcement for that. So that's the basis of where our money does come from. So it's nice to see that there are so many sources of funding that comes in for the city. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so now we'll talk about operating expenses overview. Same type of chart so you can see how the pyramid builds. And if you noticed in our revenues, we had about $66,000 of approved revenue. We've got about $87,000 of approved expenses. So if you do math in your head, well or not well, you're going to see
million, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry, million. Did I say 1,000?
Yep, that's all right.
A comma here and there.
We know what
doesn't
you
matter. If you do math well in your head or not, you can tell that that's not quite enough, but we'll talk about how that comes in later. And you can see our biggest use of funds is capital, which makes sense since that's our biggest source of funds. Contractual services, salaries and benefits. And everyone always wants to say that government spends most of their money on people. It's not the case here in Fate, which is a good thing. Transfers out, that matches the slide on the revenue, so that's just an in and out wash between funds. Other fees, we have our debt service expenditures, and then we have small amounts for repair, maintenance, and supplies. So that's a nice way to look at the pyramid. We kind of look like a cake instead of a pyramid, not as much sloping, but that is how your expenses are allocated. And then I wanted to break out the human capital investment. We have about $12.9 million that we spend annually in payroll and benefits. So that number is inclusive of the total cost of capital. This does not include anything for any fiscal year 27. This is the approved budget for fiscal year 26. So you can see the largest chunk of spending is your police department. Administrative services, which encompasses a lot of our admin back-end departments, is the next. Fire rescue is your third, and then you've got a couple tied for the next two places, and then you've got three really small ones. I'm sure Vicki would like the city secretary's office to be number one with the most percentage. Maybe we can get you there soon, but not in this budget. So that's how payroll is broken out. And it's a pretty fair mix, pretty standard when you look at different cities across the board, which is also nice to see. We have good city management. So remember I was talking about the revenues and expenditures not equaling out? Everyone has a mindset in their head that government should be nonprofit and they should equal. That's not always the case because money does roll over from year to year. And as you can see, we have that big, ugly, red, scary thing that no one wants to see. We have a deficit, but that's okay because we planned for that deficit and it was made up of things that you want to make up your deficit, which is bond funds, utility revenues, debt service investment income. Those are all things you want to be in your fund balance because you can use those and you have to use those for your projects as they go forward. So think of it this way. You issue a bond this year and get $5 million. You're not going to spend $5 million this year in that bond project. So we sweep it into fund balance. It's in a fund restricted to use only on that project. So that's why you might see a surplus or a deficit at the end of the year. As long as it's not hitting your general fund that you didn't plan, you're okay. And your surplus deficit, your deficit in this case, is not hitting your general fund. It was very well planned out. So I wanted just to draw everyone's attention to that and just to be mindful of the reason that you would use a fund balance and best practices for that. So some best practices for that are referring back to government accounting standards. They like to see at least 30% of your operating revenue in your fund balance. That doesn't include debt service. You want to have some reserves for that as well, because if something happens and you're not collecting taxes like you think you should, you still need to pay that debt service. I unfortunately, I worked in Florida, and we had a special taxing district go bankrupt. So they couldn't pay their debt service. The community was partially built out, and they were in trouble. You don't ever want that to happen to your city. But you have great city management, so that's not happening. So that's the fund balance demystified a little bit. And then we come to the budget calendar. Before we get to the budget calendar, does anyone have any questions on the revenue and expenditures or the flow between that? No? Okay, you're very welcome. So the budget calendar we've got here, and you're welcome to this presentation or a copy of it just to kind of see what our plans are. We have budget meetings this week. We'll be talking with all of our different departments. In mid-June, we're going to receive some information from the chief appraiser for the proposed ARCAD budget. We've got a special budget workshop meeting with you all on June 22nd. We'll have more firm information and numbers. We'll be able to share that projected surplus or deficit, Mr. Mandival, that you asked about. So we'll have more information on that. And going through there, the schedule is out, so you're welcome to take a look at that. If you have any questions, just let us know. And that concludes our presentation.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Questions or comments from council? Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I was trying to hit the button
Oh.
there. Could you go back to the slide of what the tax values are? Like the second or third from the top?
There might be a faster way to do this. Back arrow? I have no keyboard. But we have Isaiah.
Which one was it?
Go forward.
Forward one. Going.
That one?
Thank you. Oh, there it is. So $360.7 million a value is being shifted to the rest of the community. Is that how I read that? From the freeze and adjust the exemptions that we have?
I believe those include all the adjustments.
Right.
So there's a number of them in there, but the senior tax freeze is a big one.
The freeze, the exemption, and the disabled as well.
Disabled veteran, There might be Homestead. Homestead takes a big bite out of that. So a
Homestead's
lot
in there,
of,
Homestead is in there as well?
I think Homestead is in there as far as all those adjustments.
Could you send us a breakout of each of those, if it's
We
available?
have
So
a
they
break.
haven't given us a breakout of what encompasses that number yet.
Okay.
Towards the end of the tax period, they do give us an inventory of what makes up that number. For the preliminary, we don't have that. And I also believe that it might include protests. It also includes the lots that have been pulled for further investigation for somebody that has more experience in that area. So they have not given us that. I can reach out and ask if they have it, and we can get that for you, if it's available.
Or I may have a really early one from their first.
I'd like for it to be accurate, so
Yeah,
I'd rather,
we'll take a look and see
yeah.
what we've got. And they may have sent us like a preliminary, but as we go, it'll get better and better. So
Yeah, that's
we'll
a-
look to see if we've got a preliminary, and we'll get that out to y'all.
It's almost
so
a
you can see
$24
it.
million change year after year that I think we need to be transparent about.
I have preliminary information.
Don't worry about it. I'd rather get the actual numbers when they're available.
I have them.
You have them? Can you send that to everybody?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments or questions from council? Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Vicky, next agenda item, please.
Next is Agenda Item 8, Mayor, Council, and City Manager Reports.
All right, the theme, Ms. Huffman, has been you've started us off, so you want to start us off here as well?
Oh, sure. Well, welcome to the council. Our new council members. It's exciting to have new input. I wanted to focus on sort of personal safety. There was an issue today. Someone I work with was actually mugged in North Dallas. And it was in a location that you would generally think is very safe, but you can get kind of complacent in your safety. So my reminder is to always be aware of your surroundings when you're looking out for your personal safety. And looking forward to pushing through the budget season.
Mr. Hatley.
I was just going to say, I hope everybody had a wonderful Mother's Day, and as always, I'd like to thank the DPS and everybody over there for keeping us safe. Thank you so much for everything you guys do every day, all day. Thank you.
Mr. Manival.
That was a good one, Mark. I think I would wish everyone, hopefully everyone have a happy Mother's Day. If you wondered, I had a good Mother's Day too. So I'm excited to get into the budget process again. It's one of those things, it's a learning experience. And I know we don't want to have to do it all the time, but it's almost good that it seems like it comes so soon because I won't have forgotten as much of what I learned a year ago. So it can be learned. I know Alan learned a lot and will help us.
Thank you, Mr. Manival. Mr. Robbins.
It's good to be back up here on the dais. Thank you for all the voters that came out and voted, and just jumping back in the deep end, so appreciate it.
Ms. Raines.
I just wanted to start by thanking the voters as well. We had excellent turnout. Regardless of how you voted, I appreciated that you did. And I'd like to see that trend continue to get the community involvement. I wanted to thank and recognize the exiting council members that are no longer with us today. I wanted to thank Lorna Grove and Melinda McCarthy as well for their campaigns. I think that they themselves personally handled themselves professionally and in a really good capacity, so I appreciated that. And I wanted to touch on city staff and the city secretary's office for the continued work that you guys do for us on a daily basis and some of the extra demands that we've made as of late. So looking forward to getting started, learning budget season and how this flows, and getting council back on the same page again.
Very nice, thank you. Last week when we had the National Day of Prayer, one of the things that was a theme that kind of kept coming up in our community was we've got great cities, great schools, virtually no crime. And so kind of even to Ms. Huffman's point, the fact that the number one thing that a lot of times we will be upset about or gripe about is traffic. But what an awesome opportunity to reflect and think that if that's what your biggest complaint is in your community, that's a pretty good complaint to have. And so I think that is, of course, as was discussed at the prayer breakfast, of course, DPS putting us in that position to not have to worry about those kinds of things and means something. And so when we are about to enter this budget season and sometimes it gets really boring, I guess it's a good thing that it can be really boring, because that means that we're not talking about issues that are harder to have to be addressing. So thank you guys for that. Looking forward to our new council members. Welcome. You guys are seated on my left and right, so if I have questions or comments, I whisper to you guys, so I hope you guys are looking forward to that. That's all I've got. Mr. Kovacs.
Yes, sir, just a couple date announcements. So the MDD meets tomorrow at 6 p.m. here, and they are going to be working on their budget right off the bat. So good stuff. MDD going straight into the budget. And then we have a council meeting, regular meeting, of course, next week on the 18th. And then with Martha, we'll check and see, make sure, we'll check and see when the next Emergency Service Corporation meeting is. Could be next Wednesday, but they're on every other month, so we'll check. Next Wednesday, Jim? Well, thank you. Next Wednesday for your calendar, ma'am. 5:30? 5 o'clock. Okay. 5 o'clock. Thank you, Jim. That's all, sir.
All righty, thank you. Ms. Vicky, next agenda item, please.
Next is Agenda Item 9, Adjournment.
Do I have a motion?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I second that motion.
Any discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion passes 6-0. We are adjourned. Thank you, guys.